This is the Throttle Out Show, presented by Vixen Industries, the only show where monster truck drivers and mechanics come together to present what's happening in the monster truck community. It's the ultimate combination of torque, horsepower, and trash talk. And now for your hosts. First, straight out of the heart of Detroit Rock City, it's Kid Rock's neighbor and former driver of the BKT ride truck. It's Austin Spence. And the duo deep in the heart of Texas, it's the show owner and daughter of a man who conquered the industry for over 20 years. It's Harley Johnson, along with everyone's favorite Bryce Kenny lookalike, Austin Tweedy. So go ahead, fuel up, strap in, and remember, when in doubt, throttle out.
What's going on, all you cool cats and kittens? What's going on, guys? Welcome to Wheels Up Wednesday here on the Throttle Out Show. My name is Austin Spence, bringing in everybody here on the rest of the crew. What's going on, Harley? What's going on, Tweety? How's everything going?
I love cats and kittens. You son of a gun, you.
That was a good one. I like that.
I had to. So in case anyone's wondering, I do not have a monster truck background behind me tonight. For those of you who are wondering what this is, it's not from the Midwest. This is the essence of life here in Michigan. The best drink ever made is Verner's. Yes, it is. It's amazing.
I beg to differ. This is the best drink ever made.
Hey, that's how I got the Red Beard guides. It's ginger ale. Verner's all the way, repping from Detroit. Anyway, so... guys, I have a very serious question I want to ask each of us because let's be honest, we're in our 20s and we still talk about big trucks, so we're kind of kids at hearts, right?
But before you get into that, let's just go ahead and give a fair warning for everybody tonight. There's some internet complications going on up there at the studio in Rockwall, Texas, and we don't know exactly what's going on. She cuts in and out. Yeah. If for some reason the stream ends, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. We're just trying to, make it work tonight, I guess. I don't know. See what's going on there.
Yeah, I've already been kicked out like 5 times before we even started the live stream, so let's hope I stay on all night.
Okay, Spence. As you were saying, my man.
And before Mr. Tweed threw off my groove, I want you guys to think back to when you were 13 years old. How would you describe yourselves?
Well, I was very mature as a 13-year-old dude.
Then or now?
I don't believe that for a second.
No, I was
You're
the
still
most.
Not mature.
I was the most mature person in all of Onion County.
Guy. That's a lie.
And I don't know, but I was very into sports. You know what I mean? I wasn't working on anything. I think I may have swung a hammer once or twice, but I mean, very into sports, and yes, definitely very immature.
What about you, Harley?
Let's see, 12, 13. I'm pretty sure around that time, I think, I was going to Monster Jam every year when it came to Oakland and when it came to the 49er Stadium. And other than monster trucks, I was just going to Disney every weekend I could.
So I was very, obviously I was still into, monster trucks and stuff, but I didn't have many friends in school, to be completely honest. I went and did, sports and stuff, but I was, the shy kid. I always stayed in, the back of the classroom. I just ignored. I mainly did a lot of doodling in my notebook. But the reason why I bring this up, guys, if you could go back to your 13-year-old selves and just visually, see how they were, do you think you'd be, I don't know, mature enough to essentially wield a monster truck?
No.
You don't think so?
No, no way. No, I was mature enough to sit in a truck, and that was about it. Yeah, definitely wouldn't trust me behind the wheel. Just even moving one on toter tires. Heck no.
What about you, Harley? You think you'd be able to at least reach the pedals in one of those trucks?
Oh, yeah, I could reach one of the pedals for sure. I think if someone asked me to drive, I'd be like, heck yeah, why not?
Well, the reason why we bring this up, guys, is one of the topics we had a while ago is how young can you actually be to operate a full-blown, full-scale monster truck? And, 13 is the answer. So, Tweety, you actually know a little bit more about this than we do. So give us a little bit about this kid that kind of is rocking it in a full-blown truck at just 13 years old.
The first thing you need to know about this kid is that you pronounce his last name Plato. Okay, that's the first thing you need to know. Not plateau, not all the other funny ways we've been saying it on the show is plateau. And he's been driving, I believe, alongside team kid KJ since he was like 5 years old. And then
Wow.
they finally let this kid behind the wheel of a full-size monster truck without hardly like any practice time at all, I might add. So you're seeing a 13-year-old kid out there hitting the track. I've never got a chance to hit the track ever. So clearly I'm super jealous. But this guy is going to be a future star in the sport.
Dude, I can't believe this kid is 13 years old. Like, I've seen some guys that get their first time in the seat of a full-blown truck and they get the jitters. Like, they don't know how to keep slight pressure on the throttle to where it won't completely stall out and die. This kid's wheeling. Like, obviously, he said he's been driving the kid KJ truck since he was around 5. I mean, it shows. I mean, that little nosedive must have hurt a little bit. But still, like, this is impressive. For a 13-year-old kid, this is awesome.
Apparently... but look at this. Yeah, look at Joseph Rodriguez's comments. Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, we're talking about him tonight just to fill everybody in. He's already booked for 3 more events. This is according to his pops. His dad and I were messaging here just yesterday. He's already booked for 3 more events. Clark County, Washington, August 1st, August 6th at Sonoma County Fair in California, and then October in Stockton, California with Bill Payne's tour. And it is official. He's definitely the youngest ever to drive a monster truck on tour before. Absolutely insane.
Now, what truck is this again? It's Skull Crusher.
Skull Crusher. It's actually a really sick paint job. I love the way the truck looks. So that is actually really cool that he's going to get a shot at a Bill Payne show. Now, obviously, I'm here in the Midwest, so we don't get to see anybody from straight up racing. But seeing the footage that I've seen on YouTube of the caliper that Bill Payne shows holds up to, and this kid at 13 is going to get to drive in one of his shows, that's a statement, man.
Could you
awesome.
imagine, though, dude, I'm just saying, could you imagine, being his dad, being over on the sidelines, him, the promoter, everybody's got their kill radios ready, just on edge, right? And he looks like he's going to be just fine behind the seat. I'm really excited to see what this kid can do in the future.
Dude, it's okay. So Tweety, out of all of us here, you're a father, and your daughter is like what, 5, 6 years old, somewhere around there.
She just turned 5.
Holy crap, we're old.
I'm not old.
Imagine Kimley at 13 years old. Would you give her the keys to a full-blown monster truck?
Well, honestly, at the rate she's going, yeah, probably. She's probably going to be way more mature than what I was at 13 years old. Yeah, she tried to fool me into watching The Simpsons the last time she was over at our apartment. And, it was actually a really convincing argument. She was like, "Hey, can I watch The Simpsons?" I'm like, "You really shouldn't be watching The Simpsons by yourself. But, if I'm in here, I'm watching it, I won't turn it off." She's like, "Okay, are you going to eat breakfast in the living room or the kitchen?" I'm like, "Well, I guess I'm going to eat it in the living room with you." She's like, "So can we watch The Simpsons then?" I love that.
Harley, it sounds like there wasn't really much convincing.
Not much convincing there at all.
Well, listen, Shane Plato here on the Throttle Out Show. If you ever want to come on, we know you're only 13, and we feel like we should probably have an age restriction with some of the stuff we talk about on this show. But honestly, Monster Trucks is Monster Trucks, and it's super cool that someone that young is able to get behind the wheel. And we see that your dad's in the comments section. Obviously, he's proud of you. Hell, we're proud of you. We can't wait to see where you go from here, little man.
And you saw that he's going to be on Joseph Rodriguez's podcast. He just got that started, I believe, in the last week or so. So everybody who watched our stuff, check out Joseph Rodriguez's podcast. He always chimes in, gives his 2 cents on our show. Seems like a really cool person. Haven't had a chance to actually meet him yet, shake his hand in person, but seems like a really cool guy. So make sure you check out his stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Even Joshua Blake Wells, he's like PG-13. I mean, technically, he kind of makes the mark of our PG-13, but
he hit right at 13.
I shouldn't say we. I kind of tend to drop the slurs a little bit more than you guys.
Okay, if he's been around monster trucks for as long as he has, I'm sure he's heard about every word.
You know what? Yeah.
Anyone in the monster truck business knows.
Nobody in the pits is a saint, and you know who you
exactly.
are.
Yeah, Harley.
Why are you looking at me?
What?
Why are you looking at Harley?
What? Anyways, moving forward, I want to get a different topic started. So I told y'all I just got this book, Monster Truck Technology, Marty Garza sent us a copy of this book. And this morning, me at work, we got a late start to the day. So I started going through the book. I started skimming through some things. This right here is called a traction bar. This is one of the very first early developmental pieces of equipment in monster trucks. Instead of 4-links, you had what's called traction bars. So obviously similar to 4-link, the first ones were just, all solid pieces of metal. And some guys started, developing shocks into these bars. This is actually a picture of Gravedigger. And then up here, I know it's up here anyways, this is actually off of a Bigfoot truck. So this whole chapter goes into suspension. So I wanted to talk about that tonight a little bit out of the Monster Truck Technology book. You can get that off of monstertrucktechnology.com.
It's almost like we're all going to be in class and you're going to be our teacher.
Exactly. Yeah, I'll be your professor tonight. I ain't no Tom Mintz, but I'll be your professor tonight. So
I didn't do my homework.
I didn't either. I'm sorry.
A couple years ago, Austin, we were working at Feld Motorsports. We were at the headquarters, and we were at what they called a summit, which is just like a big conference for everybody that works at Feld Motorsports. Every single crew guy from the Paxton shop, North Carolina, Florida shop, had some drivers there as well. And the topic was brought up amongst everyone there. How do we build an unbreakable Monster Jam truck? Sounds like a really stupid question, but it got a lot of people chit-chatting. So I was talking about
quit telling the drivers to break the trucks.
Well, you got that too.
Yeah.
But one of the things that one person had brought up, and it wasn't related to suspension, that's just to kind of get the gears moving tonight. But one of the things that one of the guys brought up was, okay, on these trucks, on the axle housings, you have what's called bolt-on champagnes. Okay, big, sturdy, solid pieces of metal that bolt on with 1-inch grade A bolts. And the guys are talking about, why don't we start molding those into our housings on our truck? Now, I've never looked at Tom Mintz's truck thoroughly. I was told he runs ZF axles, and he does. But the champagnes are molded into his axle housings. I know Team Bigfoot does that with their stuff. There we go. Look at this guy. Check this out. There's a bolt-on champagne right there.
Did you just have that sitting in front of you?
Yeah, I actually have the notes and everything from Mr. Jeff Sinn's little seminar on like how to take corners and everything apart. So I have everything right here.
So what Austin was just showing y'all was what we were just talking about, which is a bolt-on champagne. This tends to be a breaking point on axle housings. This is typically an axle housing ruiner, if you will. Those suckers, obviously, it's a pressure point. It's a point on the monster truck axle housings where they tend to break a lot. So one guy brought up, maybe we should start getting those molded into the housing so it's all one solid piece of metal. So as I was talking about, I believe Tom does that with his trucks. If he doesn't, I know Bigfoot does that with their ZF axles. Their stock ZF axles were like that. And then within the last 2 years or so, they had their own type in-house built of axle housings, and that's the way they constructed them. The champagnes are molded right into them. You never have to deal with those bending or breaking off. And those ZFs that Bigfoot ran stock, those are made years ago. I mean, years ago. And they're just now starting to run through them. Clearly, they last a lot longer, Austin.
Oh, dude, absolutely. Now, remember this little mesh up, because I think this was around when you guys were going through housings, because Jacob brought up a very good point that Overkill welds their champagnes to their housings. Mm-hmm. That was something we definitely did at Feld, where when you got a new champagne on, if the housing was still good, you would bolt it together and weld them. Well, I'm not sure what bolt company it was, but we had these new bolts that were supposed to hold the champagnes on. Instead of just having a hex head, they were a Torx bit or like some kind of a hex bit, to where instead of having just a socket, you had a weird.
It was almost like an Allen head.
Yeah, an Allen head. Thank you. It was a giant Allen head bolt, and so many guys kicked and screamed and bitched about this thing because it was such a pain in the ass to tighten down. And here's the other thing: they're like, we're gonna really test out these bolts. Don't weld the champagne to the housing. Mm-hmm. Guess what? Not doing that and having that extra little bit of rigidity and an extra little bit of strength ruined a ton of housings, because guess what? Once that broke and you didn't have that extra support, all those threads just ripped right out of the housing, folded the housing in half. Junk.
Now, okay, and you say that, I personally am still indifferent to that. Doesn't make a big difference in my eyes, and this is why. Because not too much longer after that, we had a guy from Lincoln Electric come in. He was giving some of the newer guys a class on welding and fabrication, and
I remember.
he was saying that was actually pointless because what we were using with our welders, we're not going to be able to penetrate the champagne to the axle housing deep enough for it to actually make that big of a difference. So I'm indifferent to it. I never did it. We didn't have that issue, but we also had on our truck. Remember, during that year, I worked for 2 different trucks. One truck went through axle housing what seemed like every other weekend. It wasn't that much, but it seemed like it. The other truck, not at all. They were an updated version of Patrick's housings that have honestly almost proven to be unbreakable. If they have any issues, they have issues elsewhere, and you can actually still fix it and not completely trash the entire housing. So, like you were saying, on Becky's truck, when she started going through those housings, they started breaking off at the champagne. Well, what bolts almost directly above that champagne? The suspension, the shocks. If your shocks aren't tuned right, your trucks take too big of a hit. Last night, I was on a friend of mine's podcast. He has a show called Podmosh. He was wanting to learn a little bit about monster trucks, so we started talking about updating the suspension. And he goes, how do you know if that truck's landed right? Well, Austin, Harley, y'all know, if you're watching a truck, guy goes out there pretending this is his truck, and he lands and he bounces a lot. Truck has a lot of rebound. That doesn't mean it's necessarily hurting the driver, but it's going to throw that truck everywhere. We've seen plenty of times guys get big air, land, rebound, and it sends the truck over on its lid. Then you have other trucks that'll go and jump, and they have absolutely no rebound in it whatsoever. And they can only make a few more jumps like that, and it starts to actually break the truck. That's when stuff starts falling off. That's when champagne start cracking. So, in talking about suspension, a lot of the technology that we use now has actually been around for a while with these gas hydraulic shocks. It's just been improved over the years with, honestly, trial and error.
You'd think, though, with the amount of trial and error, because I have to applaud some certain independent teams, especially like Team Scream, because Corey Rummel, being the master fabricator that he is, they've actually designed and made their own housings in-house for the Team Scream trucks. And here's the thing. Team Scream, as we all know, they put it on an outstanding show. They abuse and beat the ever-living crap out of their trucks. And they are actually some of the heaviest. Here's the thing. When Jim Kohler says that they are the toughest monster trucks in the industry, that's not just a bold statement. That is a fact.
Yeah.
The stuff that Jim and Corey and all those guys do to their trucks, they take the abuse. Why? Because they learn from it. And unfortunately, with Feld, there isn't really a lot of learning to. There's a lot of just parts replacement. It's like, it's broken. There's extras in the trailer. Throw it on there. Well, they don't really take a look and assess. Feld themselves don't look at it. They turn to the people who they buy the parts from to try and make the changes, not what Feld is doing. Because Dan Patrick's the one that's making these housings for Feld Entertainment. Well, how long does Samson normally stay together? How often does Samson get torn up like any Feld or Monster Jam truck does? Never. It always looks brand new.
Right. So before we get too far away from Joshua Blake Wells' question that he just had up there, Harley, he was asking, is rebound good in our opinion? Honestly, Josh, that's kind of a trick question, because at the end of the day, if your driver's out there just trying to make the show, just get by, you want to throw them in the truck that worst case scenario has too much rebound. When a truck has too much rebound, 9 times out of 10, it's not always the case, but the majority of the time, I guess I should say, the driver's not feeling that hit, that sudden impact, no pun intended with the monster truck, but that sudden impact of the hit. The majority of the time, the driver's not going to feel it. I'm not saying that they don't. When you have a truck that goes out there and there's just absolutely no rebound, it just looks like the truck soaks it up. It's either A, doing exactly what it appears to be doing, or B, it is breaking the truck in places that you can't physically see. And a show or two down the road, that truck's going to start falling apart.
Lee brings up an extremely good point. After working so hard to build the trucks, it's truly heartbreaking seeing Feld trucks just go out and take the beating like they do. You're absolutely right, because those drivers just fly in, drive, and leave. The guys that actually hold those trucks together and keep them going is the crew guys. And imagine it's not not saying the crew guy like owns a truck, but just for instance, say you own a truck, you put so much blood, sweat, tears, effort into fixing it, maintaining it, painting it, welding it, the whole nine, making sure it's tip top, ready to go. You don't even drive it. You get it, you see it get out of the trailer, you set it for pit party, you make it look shine, make it shine like a diamond. You make that thing look just stand out for the entire show. Someone gets off a plane, climbs in the truck, drives it, completely destroys it. Guess what? You got a couple days for you to completely fix it and get it ready for the next show.
Crew guys at Monster Jam, okay, and crew guys everywhere, but especially at Monster Jam, will never get the credit or the reward that they deserve. They just won't. They, you know, I always like to say that, you know, that truck is 50% the crew guy, 50% the driver. In all reality, it's more like a 60-40 where the crew guy is really running that truck. When their drivers out there on the track, the crew guy's on the headset talking the driver through what's going on. Hey, your truck's doing this, you know, look out for this. And then they're getting feedback from each other. You got a minute left. And, you know, the crew guy always has his eyes on that truck.
Hey, Ryan Riddell, good to see you tuning in, buddy. Hope everybody's treating you good down there in Florida. He says he doesn't want to ruin his back, but we saw the sun kind of ruined your tan line up there in your dome, bud. Good
Ryan,
luck this weekend at MetLife, man.
Ryan, I hope you have some fun this weekend. And now that you're tuning in right now, you don't have to comment on this, but we're going to go ahead and speculate on it, on what could possibly be going on this weekend in MetLife, y'all.
So, who wants to break the news?
What's the latest rumor with what's happening?
Rumor has it. Okay. Inside source. You didn't hear it from me, but you heard it from the show. Son of a Digger could potentially come back this weekend at MetLife. So originally, Son of a Digger was supposed to be scheduled for, I believe it's next weekend in LA at an arena show. Now, what I'm about to say, everybody listen carefully. I am not disrespecting those drivers that are going to be at the LA show. It's just you look at those drivers and you're like, okay. And then there's Ryan Anderson. Whoa.
I'm going to say it. You're basically paying to see Ryan Anderson at that show in LA.
Yeah. If you're going to the show at the Staples Center, you're just seeing Ryan Anderson.
And it's like on one hand, yeah, it's cool because, you know, it's going to be the first Monster Jam show back in the entire state of California. So, yeah, it should be a big deal. They should have some big name drivers there. However, it just seems really odd that you would bring back Son of a Digger after, you know, not being on a track in over a year's time and you know, almost what do we want to say, you know, debuting at this LA show. It actually doesn't even make sense. So
it's also its anniversary year. Why would you
bring
it back in an arena that it's not going to be at 100% capacity or even 50% probably?
It makes no sense. Honestly, I hate it. It drove a lot of fans crazy. Austin, you have got messages from people who are like, I don't know that I even want to pay tickets to go see that show. You know, if I'm just paying to go see Ryan Anderson, I mean,
I actually sent you, I feel bad because I kind of screenshotted it, but I got a message from my really good friend, Troy Lee, about how he was thinking about going because he lives in Vegas and that would have been the closest show. And it's about 4 hours. He's like, man, I don't want to spend close to $100 to drive all the way out to California just to only see Ryan Anderson and Son of a Digger. As much as I miss and love that truck, the rest of the lineup sucks, is what he said. I mean, I kind of have to agree with him, but yeah, you have a top tier driver like at Ryan Anderson and Son of a Digger. I would argue Son of a Digger started to become more of a household name than some of the other trucks. And it's like, okay, all these other guys who have been out of the seat for so long, they're just now coming back. They're gonna be wiped across the floor. There's gonna be no competition.
Now, I've not got the chance to sit down with, you know, Mr. Feld and discuss this very topic that I'm about to get into, but we all kind of understand why Ryan hasn't been driving Son of a Digger, right? COVID hits. Monster Jam could do absolutely nothing to continue their sponsorship with, you know, their partners. So, you know, they put on one show in October in 2020. You know, that was it, you know, after COVID, post-COVID. And at the beginning of this year, they were just all over the place, right? Doing everything they can to please their sponsors. So you put one of your best, if not your best driver, in your new corporate sponsored, you know, toy maker truck or whatever, and the stupid dragon truck that will forever be known as the dumbest looking monster truck on the face of the planet. But that would be why. Just so y'all know, Ryan also owns the name Son of a Digger. That's his identity. So technically, they could probably make a little bit more money running the Bakugan name and Ryan making that truck, well, popular. So that's kind of what's been going on behind the scenes. However, like I said, inside source, not revealing who this person is, send me a message and say, hey, it's possible you could see the blue and black wrecking machine this weekend in MetLife.
I'm not gonna lie, I really hope so because I'm sick and tired of the same lineup. I'm glad that the Andersons are getting back in their rightful trucks. I'm glad we're kind of getting away from them wanting to represent the sponsored ordeal. You know, Adam being in a popular toy truck for Megalodon, Ryan being in Bakugan. We just got Adam back in his truck. We even saw during the whole NASCAR ordeal, Ryan was even talking in those videos like, yeah, I just can't wait to get back in my truck. And Son of a Digger, even it's like he's itching to get back in his truck, his name, because his driving style matches his truck. And it's been way too long. 2021 is already halfway over, and there hasn't been any Son of a Digger, and it's over. It's way overdue. We need to see the blue or purple headlights. I can't remember what it is now.
Controversial question. Okay.
Oh no, here we go.
Has Son of a Digger's legacy almost surpassed Gravedigger?
No,
I wouldn't say surpassed Gravedigger as far as like it has surpassed Adam's talent. I'll tell you that.
Oh.
Ryan Anderson is more talented than Adam Anderson. I've said it. I'm just saying. I mean,
I'm not ignoring y'all. I am my phone's blowing up with people saying where this truck could potentially be within the next week or so.
Not gonna lie, Ryan made me hate Dragonoid a little bit.
A little bit less.
A little bit less.
I mean, I guess I could say the same, but still, I hate that truck.
I like someone called it like the Olaf truck or something.
Olaf truck
with the dildo on it. I like those.
I mean, that would be me, the Robo Dragon with a dildo for a nose. Yeah. I mean, seriously, like you're sitting, it's like, it's comical. Just imagine driving in this truck and in front of you, just see, wait. Like,
for me,
it's ridiculous.
As like a fan watching in the stadium, I can't tell it's a dragon. I've felt that way ever since the truck came out, and so it just looks like some red body scheme going on. So I've never liked it, but I don't hate on it as much as Tweety does.
I remember when that truck, when the body was first put together, and they were like, no, they put the fear of God in somebody when it's like, we got a brand new truck, don't you dare take pictures, you're getting fired. And I look at that, I'm like, I'd be embarrassed to have that on my phone. Like,
Tweety, have you seen this comment?
Hey, Tweety, I hate Monster Energy.
What about Verner's?
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
While we're on the topic of MetLife, let's just go ahead and look at the lineup.
Y'all break down the lineup. I'm still talking to Inside Source on my phone right now. Okay.
Oh boy. All right. So it looks like for this event, we have some trucks that have some drivers to be determined, but we have got, like what we were saying, Ryan Anderson coming back in Son of a Digger, Adam Anderson in Gravedigger. You got what's his name? Jack Brown, I believe, and Torque FTI Torque. You got Bryce Kenny and Mohawk Warrior, the Professor Tom Mintz, Max D, Tristan England and Megalodon, Monster Energy Leduc, Kayla Blood, and Soldier Fortune. Now, this is the thing I kind of wanted to talk about. This is kind of like a big WTF thing. Why do we have a seasoned veteran arena driver who is Kayla Blood going into stadiums, but we have Brianna Mahon, who is, mind you, I think she was either second or third in freestyle World Finals Freestyle Championship standings. I know Lindsay Reed won, and I don't know if it was Camden second and then Brianna third, or Brianna second then Cam third, whatever. Why is she going to arenas? Someone make sense of this for me, please.
Well, it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't.
There could potentially have been a scheduling conflict, and that's why. Like
or
you
maybe
said,
they wanted to bring Whiplash to Nashville, since Whiplash is kind of like that, Texas theme, Tennessee theme kind of truck.
Yeah, I mean, it fits. It works. Bree definitely started out doing arenas, and she did extremely well. I think Kayla was at the point where she was proving herself in the arena so much, it was like, okay, maybe it is time to get her some stadium seat time. So, like I said, could have been a scheduling issue. I could potentially see that the Tennessee show was booked, months in advance, whereas the East Rutherford show was booked just not that long ago. So, Bree's already booked for this show. We got to hurry up and get somebody to fill that void, and they were ready to bring Kayla Blood back.
But it's like, just looking at the footage we have in front of you guys, like, she is very renowned in stadiums. Like, she is not afraid to send that truck where, a lot of people wouldn't. Like, I mean, there's a reason why honestly, a lot of people have argued, and I was in a call before we got into this, she should have won the World Finals Freestyle Championship.
Yeah, when I was making this video, I watched her full, Orlando run, and I'm like, how did she not win that? I don't understand.
So here, I'll actually weigh in on that. So for those that remember World Finals 20, it was Mother's Day weekend, and Lindsay Reed, they kept announcing over the intercom that Lindsay Reed was the only mother driver in the entire fleet. Ooh, that looked like it hurt. And they kept pushing that and pushing that. So I think, to my understanding, that Lindsay Reed got a higher score solely because that she was a mother. She put on a great freestyle. No, don't get me wrong. She put on a great freestyle, winning the double down or whatever, getting into the main field and winning freestyle. Mm-hmm. That's great. However, it was not a championship freestyle. Camden Murphy or Brianna Mahon by far should have won freestyle.
Well, it also goes back to the saying of whoever does the first backflip of the night usually gets the highest score, and they automatically win that night.
I honestly think backflips need to be taken out of freestyle competition completely. I think backflip should be only for like skills or best trick, and that's it. I think backflip should be not used in freestyle because it's overused. Like you said, whoever the first ones get a backflip, you win. Mm-hmm. But Monster Jam cares about putting on a show, not competition.
Y'all, sorry I've been absent. My phone is literally blowing up right now with Ryan Anderson possibly coming back instead of a digger this weekend. It is absolutely insane right now.
Pay attention to the stream. You can look on.
Are you getting yelled at? Like, are they getting ready to call you to come and help out in MetLife or something?
Definitely not. No, you won't see me there.
Are we getting in trouble because we said something about that?
No. Nobody is in trouble. This is just getting very interesting. So
come at me.
Long story short, I'm telling you, even right now I'm getting messages on my iPad as my phone's over here. This could potentially be a very exciting weekend. Like didn't you say, Harley, there's trucks to be announced for this weekend?
Actually, we had some help from people in the comments. I guess all those trucks were filled.
Okay.
See. This one said Lindsay's and Dalmatian because Cynthia confirmed it on one of her posts.
Okay.
Damn it, I want to see Cynthia again.
Let's see. Joseph Rodriguez and Charlie Hawkins and Stone Crusher.
Yeah. Yes. All right.
And it says Exterminator was replaced with Raising Cane.
Okay.
Who's driving? Would it be Buddy Tompkins or
I think it would be Buddy? I saw someone comment Buddies and Raising Cane, so I guess Raising Cane's replacing Exterminator.
God, I love our audience. You guys are awesome. I'm just saying.
There's only missing, right? Oh, who's driving Hooked?
I'd imagine Brian Wright.
Yeah,
right?
I guess Brian Wright, but I don't know why they wouldn't put his name on there. I don't know.
That's really strange.
That yet.
Yes, Buddy and Kane. I 100% agree that Spence backflips need to be taken from freestyles. Thank you. At least some people agree with me.
Comments happening right now. I'm trying to.
People are enjoying the stream, and Tweety's just more occupied with his phone.
This is not. I wish I could show y'all who I'm talking to. Oh man, watch out for this weekend. Don't be surprised.
This person makes a good comment.
Excuse me, Damon Bradshaw. Could you quit messaging our host, please? Thank you.
Yeah, it's actually the CEO of Dr. Pepper saying he wants to sponsor our show.
I refuse to take burners down, at least for this stream. Not happening. Anyway, so should we give our predictions, I guess, for this weekend? Since we kind of know the lineup. Okay. Yes. Harley, go right ahead, because I know you're itching to tell us.
Okay, so we only have one show this weekend, which is kind of a little bit of a break for the crew guys and drivers, so that's nice. Let's see.
I'll figure out a way to ruin that.
What'd you say?
I said they'll figure out a way to ruin that. Every single truck's gonna need cradle welding, a housing, like the whole nine. Like you crew guys aren't getting a break at all.
Racing, I will go with either Todd or Adam to take racing. Skills, I'm gonna have to go with Tristan England because he's been really solid on the skills competition. Let's see, freestyle. If Son of a Digger makes his, re-debut at MetLife, I'm gonna say Son of a Digger for freestyle.
All right. I can see that. So for me, this is kind of like my dream final. Like if the bracket is aligned the way that I would like it to, I would like to see the finals between Tristan England and Ryan Anderson.
Okay.
And I think Tristan would edge out Ryan.
Okay.
I could see Tristan taking racing all the way because Tristan's been solid. He has been extremely solid in stadiums. I would have to choose Stone Crusher with Chuck because it's Chucky. You can't go wrong with Chucky. I gotta say Chucky's kind of my dark horse. He's kind of like the underdog, I should say. It's not his truck, but it's a very solid piece of equipment. For skills, even though I don't really care about it, probably going to go to Ryan or Tom Mintz. Let's be completely honest. They're going to do the same, either the bicycle into a moonwalk or Tom's going to park it on top of the backflip ramp, walk it out, blah, blah, blah. We've seen it 100 times at every single show. It's boring. Freestyle, I got to go Ryan or either one of the Anderson boys is just going to burn it down in New Jersey.
Yeah. You're not too far off of my predictions. I know Tom always has great success up there at MetLife. So, I mean, how could you go wrong with him? So, looking at this lineup, though, I will make one prediction that I'm telling you it will be accurate. It's absolutely no offense to her. So, you obviously already know who I'm talking about. Kayla Blood. Okay, first show back in over a year.
Well, there's two girls.
There's two girls?
Yeah,
Lindsay Reed.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. Okay, so anyways, Kayla Blood.
Sorry, Lindsay.
Not being in a truck for well over a year, she's just not going to come back and win the entire show. It's not going to happen, okay? Mm-hmm. I could potentially see her competing a lot better than what people were expecting her to, almost the underdog, but I'm going to go ahead and give you my underdog prediction first. It's going to be Charlie Pauken, Stone Crusher. Potentially even sweeping the entire damn show. That guy is going to be fired up, driving a great piece of equipment. Don't get me wrong, driving the Gravedigger trucks, one of the best pieces of equipment in the business. However, I know Steve Sims has got those trucks on kill over there at the Stone Crusher camp, so I could potentially see him winning the whole damn weekend. For racing, though, I got to say it could, as long as Tom can get out of the first round, I'm going to go with Tom for racing. Two-wheel, as long as the leash is kind of let off of Ryan a little bit. Say Ryan's going to win two-wheel, and then freestyle all out. It's going to be Chucky Pauken. I see it right now. Chucky's going to win. I could potentially see Chucky, as long as he can do a good two-wheel, because I know he'll do good in racing. As long as he can do a good two-wheel, I can see Chucky taking the overall.
Sounds like you're definitely on the. This is weird. This is a weird Tweety that we're seeing. Like normally it's Tyler Duke wins everything.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. No, Todd wins everything.
There he is.
That was my real prediction.
To a point I was trying to say earlier, that someone commented saying, one thing I find odd is why would they make Ryan's driver card on the site back to Son of a Digger if he wasn't driving it this weekend? Because they did have a Bakugan.
I wonder why.
Yeah, again, there's no secret that Feld is bad at, secrets. Like, remember the whole debut of the Monster Mutt Galaxy, and there was literally and the NASCAR announcement. There was literally pictures of it out on social media, and they still waited till the actual debut to be like, "Oh, here it is, never before seen." No, we've known about this for about a week now, but cool, whatever.
Yeah, but at the same time, okay, inside sources aren't always accurate. Just because they hear something, something floats, into somebody's brain. That doesn't mean it's always accurate. So we'll see this week. I still expect a great show, whether Ryan's driving Son of a Digger or the stupid Dragon truck. Potentially, you could see some independents come out balling this weekend and having some fun. But it'll be a good show nonetheless. And is it just one show? Am I right on that?
Yeah, it's
believe
one
one
Saturday show. That's
Just
it.
one Saturday show. So God bless all you crew guys who have powered through the 3-show weekends, and y'all are ready for just one. Yes, exactly. One stadium show. Y'all are going to have a blast and have some fun and enjoy New York or New Jersey. And that's going to be a good one.
Jersey.
Did you say enjoy New
Jersey.
Jersey? Have you been to Jersey?
Jersey. No, I haven't.
You can't enjoy Jersey. I'm sorry if anybody there watching tonight is from Jersey. You can't enjoy Jersey. There's not much there.
Should we go ahead and look at the lineup for Nashville real quick?
Let's do it. Come on with it.
Sure, let's go.
Let me find it. Oh, there it is.
Okay, so we've got
Ari
Tamori.
is back in arenas.
Okay. So that's why Bari. Okay, it was kind of strange not seeing him in stadium. So we've got, I think it's Travis Maury, I believe his name is, an Extreme Attitude. That is a Miguez chassis, but I believe it's his body. Elvis rocking in Great Clips Mohawk Warrior. You got Jurassic Attack, obviously Darren Miguez and Nitro Menace, Paul Jensen and Vendetta, Bari. This is kind of an odd, I don't want to say an odd lineup, but I mean,
It's an interesting arena setup.
it's a very interesting arena setup.
It is. And I'll go ahead. I'll give my predictions now for the shows. I'm not going to do, 3 separate shows. I'm just going to say, if I'm looking at one show, this could potentially be a weekend where the ladies dominate. Okay. I could see Kristen definitely winning an overall there. If Bree doesn't beat her to it, I could see it coming down to the 2 ladies this weekend in Nashville.
Okay.
Bree's going to be super motivated to take that truck back that she's been wanting to drive for over a year and win. She's drove Scooby-Doo. She's no stranger to winning. And then obviously in arenas as well, where she came back in Scooby-Doo. So I could see her taking it to the boys this weekend on the track and winning.
I think it'll be like back and forth between Elvis and Bree, because Elvis has been really good at arenas lately.
Mm-hmm. He has been, though. He's been winning.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I gotta kind of disagree, but Kristen's been on kill. Like, once she got out of stadiums and back into arenas, girl has been sweeping events nonstop. So, I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm excited to see, Brianna Mahon get back in competition. And I'm excited to see Elvis, because Elvis has been very, very, very good with what he's been doing so far in arenas, especially representing Great Clips Mohawk Warrior. But Kristen's been on kill in arenas. If everything aligns right, the truck is ready to go for the entire weekend. They actually have all the parts. Truck is running great. I think Kristen will sweep quite a few shows. I think they'll be like, Elvis will get a win here or there, and same thing with Brianna. But I think when it comes to all the overall event winners, I think a lot of it's going to go to Kristen.
Yep, I see that. I don't disagree with anybody's predictions right now so far. All right, moving forward. What else we got going on, Harley Joe?
We got Throwdown.
We do. We have 2 Throwdown shows. 2 separate Throwdown shows this weekend. We'll go to the first one. Let's do Scarborough, Maine. Am I pronouncing that right?
Scarborough, Maine. Yep.
Scarborough.
Anybody out there that enjoys lobsters, be sure to look out. They're
promoting it as the Monster Lobster versus the Kraken. That's where they're promoting the show as.
So, calamari versus lobster rolls. Cool. Yes. Battle of the Deep. No, I like it. Yeah.
Makes me hungry.
So I honestly, if they could keep Crush Station in one piece, because the few times that I've seen Crush Station here in Michigan, it tends to break a bit. I would think Crush Station would win their skills. Kraken's gonna win racing. I mean, let's be honest. It's going to be a Pagliarulo that wins racing. Freestyle, though, freestyle is going to be between Crustacean and Kraken. That's where the real competition is going to be. 100%. Okay.
I don't know much about this Turbulence monster truck. Austin, do you have any info on it?
He started out as a ride truck driver. That's about all I know.
Okay. So I just got to say this. For anybody who's been keeping up with Team Tomfoolery this past year, Nick has just been almost a completely different driver than what he was last year. The guy is launching that truck now. I mean, long jumping the sucker in freestyle. So Nick's going to be ready to run hard this weekend, especially going up against Greg in the Monster Lobster truck. You know, they're all big buddies. They all get along with each other, but they also do some friendly trash talking. So I could see Nick having his truck ready to rock and roll this weekend and do some winning.
I have to agree with you, Tweety. I haven't seen much footage on, the crustacean truck. I haven't seen much footage on Lumberjack or Turbulence, so I feel like I'm gonna have
Lumberjack. Don't worry about Lumberjack. Lumberjack is a very new driver. He's a little scared of it. You could kind of see it. He doesn't go as big as some of the other guys. He's not very. He doesn't really have a good throttle rhythm, especially I've seen. Is
that the Tom guy?
I think so. I'm not 100% sure. I can't remember his name. I'm sorry. I've seen him at 2 shows. I still don't know who he is.
Gotcha. Okay.
But no, Greg Wickenbach and Monster Labs always puts on a good show. It's just if it stays in one piece. Okay. So, and it's the brand new PEI chassis. Everything should be fine. But there is I can't remember when. It's not this weekend, but there's another main show that is going to have 3 crustaceans.
Whoa.
Yeah, there's going to be 3 crustaceans. So I believe Elliot Miller is going to be using his Sinistar truck and along with somebody else. But you're going to have the regular red crustacean, the blue crustacean, and then the rotten or the green like zombie looking one. So it's going to be like I'm not 100% sure which weekend that is, but it's going to be actually really cool to see 3 Monster Jam Sam. It's in September, I believe. The 3 crustaceans. Sweet. So yeah, red, raw, and blue.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's gonna be sick. Jacob, I think you said you were gonna be going to that show this weekend, so have fun, buddy. But anyway,
I would pay to go see that.
What? All lobsters?
Yeah,
all 3 of them. I'd want to see that.
That's gonna be a really cool show.
We also have another Monster Truck Throwdown show in Michigan.
Yeah, unfortunately, I can't go to this one. Which
now,
sucks because this is
something about the iron truck. I forgot his name. Sorry.
So I wish we had some Sarah McLachlan music, like Arms of the Angel, like in the background. But ladies and gentlemen, if you guys could find it in your hearts to reach out to Short Iron Fab, they are taking donations for a new motor in this truck. Unfortunately, Uncle Rod decided to take a vacation out the oil pan before the actual events, so any donations would help.
Say where the road goes.
Which is very unfortunate because I don't think this truck has ever competed in an actual event. It's always been on display, so it's very unfortunate for them to fire it up, get it out of the shop, and then next thing you know, there goes a rod. So unfortunately, I don't think that truck is going to actually compete unless somebody lends them a motor. Obviously, you got Team Gardner there, Miss Overboard and Miss Overboard, Sinister, Reckless Driving, and Samson. Even if it is still a 5-truck lineup, it's still going to be ton of fun.
Overboard and Miss Overboard are going to be replaced with Wildside and Terminal Velocity.
Oh, even better. So you got the young guys coming back. All right. Even better.
All right.
Okay. So I want to go
on Champion and his mud truck. If I'm saying
his mega truck.
His mega truck
champion. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I want to say this. Little Zim, if you are watching, this is the 3rd Michigan show that you'll be attending this year. I hope to God you don't have any more bad luck, because in Springport, you ripped the housing off. In Mears, Michigan, you red lit in racing, and you also lost an output shaft after the first hit in freestyle. I hope and pray the Monster Truck gods are kind to you this weekend, and Ionia. Please.
I'll just go ahead and say all that bad luck is out the window, and he's going to go down there and put a whooping on everybody there. So. Obviously, his teammate and Zagar. And what did we talk about here just a few months ago? These 2 trucks are going to be in a trailer together. They're going to show up to all these independent shows, and people are going to be like, well, the young guns are here. Might as well just put them back in the trailer. Mm-hmm. I mean, how you look at that lineup and go, well, it's going to be Zimmer or it's going to be Garner winning that race. Nothing against those other drivers, but it's like, holy crap, these guys are literally changing the game of monster trucks.
Eventually, Zimmer's got to get sick and tired of having his teammate win everything. It's like Talladega Nights, like Ricky Bobby's winning everything. He's just like, yeah, I don't mind second place. So I'm just saying, Zim, get some hardware this weekend. At least try to keep the truck in one piece.
What else is going on, y'all? What else, Harley?
Let's see. Don't forget Evansville this weekend with 12 trucks.
Oh man, that's such a huge show. That is such a fun show to go to. Yeah,
We almost went to that show, right?
we were going to. We had plans to go there, and then things just didn't work out. But
Then Austin got COVID and it messed everything up for us.
yeah.
Told you to quit licking doorknobs.
There are some big name trucks going to be at that show. It's always a fun show to go to. I went in 2017, I think 17. No shortage of fun. Every truck there was out to beat one another. I know the guy that puts on that show does a big, like a promotion fundraiser thing for the local 4-H club. So it's always a good show. And for anybody going out this weekend, if you want to send us some footage, we'll put it out there. We'll get you credit for it. But that's going to be an awesome show.
A little bit of a photobomb from your coworker there, Tweety. Great production quality. So that honestly, I was kind of bummed that unfortunately I wasn't going to be able to make it to that one because that was a huge lineup. Not to mention seeing Pizzo compete because I didn't see Pizzo since the Hall of Fame grand opening. So that would have been an interesting event to go to, 100%. So other than that, is there anything else we can cover before we move on to the next topic?
What's the next topic?
Yeah.
As we all know, everything's starting to come back in full swing, and there's rumors going around that Monster Jam is going to come back in full swing in 2021 or 2022. Sorry,
yeah,
I'm all over the place. Anyway, so I have a list of drivers who are still not on the Monster Jam roster, and we want to leave this out to the audience. Should they come back, and do they deserve to come back? So first up on the list, Blake Granger.
Okay.
Blake Granger was very, I would say, consistent. Obviously, the husband to Miss Kayla Blood, and would represent Max D. If Monster Jam does go back to a full-blown, like 4 or 5, whatever, how many tours they decide to go on, should Blake Granger be able to come back? You guys think he has the capability to get back in the truck? Did he represent the brand well? Like, just a little bit like what you guys think.
I thought, first of all, I'll go first. I thought first it was odd seeing him in a Max D truck. I didn't understand why they were immediately throwing him in that big name of a truck. I don't really know where the guy came from. I mean, was it Kayla first, then Blake, or was it the other way around? Does anybody know the answer to that question?
First, and then he drove quads, right?
I think he came from like motocross or quads or something like that.
I think he drove quads when they were still on Monster Jam shows, like before the triple threat thing.
Yeah.
So
I brought him on to drive.
The guy clearly, I think the guy has skill. I really do. I don't know that he's had a lot of seat time in a truck, and what he's been able to do has been good, I think. I could definitely see Feld bringing him back. They were interested enough in bringing him in. Nobody even really knew who he was. So I could definitely see him coming back.
He also won. What did he win at World Finals? The Speedster thing? Or
no,
it was
one
one
it
of those.
Speedster, or I think it was ATV because I believe
one of those.
What was his name? Matt Cody won the Speedster championship, I believe. So moving on from Blake Granger, what about Justin Sipes?
Justin Sipes needs to come back. Justin Sipes was really good. I remember going to a show a couple of years ago, and he was representing the Shark Truck. And, he was used to obviously arenas at the time and just put a whooping on everybody. I think he won not only racing, but I think maybe the overall for that night, if I'm not mistaken. So I'd like to see him back in a truck, definitely.
Okay.
I can't say that I've seen enough footage of him to say I want him back, to be honest.
Yeah, I would have to say, yeah. Honestly, I think if he had a better crew chief, he would have had a better season. But I would have to agree that Justin Sipes would definitely should absolutely come back. But we need better trucks in Monster Jam because honestly, I'm sick and tired of just seeing Monster Jam just naming trucks after creatures: Dragon, Megalodon, El Toro Loco. Like,
how about an actual race truck? You know what I mean? Like, like an overboard looking truck, like a Bigfoot looking truck. Like, why do we have to do the crazy creature thing all the time? Can't we just make another good looking race truck?
The creatures are for the kids. That's all Monster Jam cares about is what the kids want. It's not about what we want. It's for the kids. Come on.
Well, I'm the biggest kid in the house, and I say let's get back to race
creatures
trucks.
sell. That's all that matters.
Fuck them kids. Anyway,
this is not a PG-13 show as of right now.
you get one. We only get one. Every PG-13 movie gets one. Okay, so moving on. This is a truck that we don't even think is going to come back, but the driver, I'm not 100% sure, but Pirates Curse, Justin Hicks.
Okay.
I don't see that truck coming back, to be honest.
The truck?
I don't see the truck coming back either, because honestly, honestly, it's 3D. It gets torn up all the time. It honestly doesn't look good. I would like to see Captain's Curse, the old Willys truck, come back.
Mm-hmm.
Get rid of, like we were talking about, the stupid character. Like, just be done with it and just go back to a Willys pickup. But Justin Hicks.
It's funny you say that because I was on that truck. That was the actual first truck that I was a crew chief on. That was for Alex Blackwell overseas. And everywhere that we went overseas, that truck got booed. I mean, actual booed every time that truck came up on the video board. Everywhere we went, it didn't matter. Nobody liked that truck. I can't believe it lasted as long as it did. Now, Justin Hicks, I don't think as well as Joe Uri. That'd be another name we could throw in there as well. But those guys, I just don't think they got enough seat time. You know, they weren't at Monster Jam University all that long. It's not like they got a long time to train. Joe Uri, I know, was doing really well, and Justin was too. So I just don't think they got enough seat time for the world to really pay attention to what they could potentially bring to the monster truck world. So I would say definitely Joe needs to be back in seat, but I didn't get to see a whole lot from Justin. I'm just meaning like in general, I didn't get to see a lot of video footage of him. So it's hard for me to say. I just don't think he got enough seat time.
I'd have to agree. Yeah, there wasn't really much. There wasn't really a whole heck of a lot that you'd really see. Like, don't get me wrong, Joe Uri, like, great guy. We loved having him on the show. But I agree. It just seems like there wasn't enough practice. There just wasn't enough seat time. Same with Justin Hicks. So unless they get more seat time.
He's a young guy, good driver, and a great person.
There's potential
as well. I got to work with him alongside both he and Joe at Monster Jam University. Yeah, obviously, definitely potential. If I'm looking at, if I'm a team owner looking for a driver, obviously I would be interested in a driver like Justin Hicks, being that he's young, has a motocross background, and I thought he did just a fine job. But I know there's also a lot of people out of work right now, who are also really good at driving trucks. So I just think, long story short, he didn't get a lot of seat time.
All right, so I would have to argue this guy's kind of like the modern day Chad Fortune, and I'm kind of sad that I haven't got to see him get back in the seat, but Mr. Tony Oaks.
Where is he? How come he's not in the seat?
It's a good question, because honestly, when they did
I saw something about Tony coming back, but I mean, people watching, correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought he was coming back.
See, that's what I heard too, because Soldier Fortune Black Ops looks badass.
He is coming back. Okay, so he is coming back.
Thank goodness.
You guys know which show he's coming back, or he's just coming back in general? Oh, Raleigh, North Carolina?
Raleigh.
Oh, gosh. And I thought I was bad at pronouncing, like, town names and stuff. Like,
you are. No, you definitely
you are. I think I can pass this one.
You're actually one of the worst.
Tweety, spell independent.
Hey.
We're all allowed to mispronounce and misspell a few words. Come on, guys.
All right. You guys ready for a controversial one? Which I'm just going to say no. I don't think she should come back.
Oh.
Miranda Kozad.
Okay.
We don't have to be nice on the show. We're not obligated.
I think there's a lot of other drivers out there out of commission that should be in a seat before her. That's all I'm going to say.
Is that the nicest you're going to be about this, Tweety?
Yeah, I agree with how you said it. I'm just going to say I'd rather, a lot more other drivers come back before she does.
Well, I'm not on here to, be an asshole or, be rude about it, but I definitely, like I said, there's plenty of other drivers out there that need to be driving a truck. So, I mean, before Miranda goes that, I think that's somebody who did get plenty of seat time, and there's other drivers out there that for some reason didn't. So, I know Miranda, and like Joseph is saying, Miranda is a very nice person to talk to. She'll talk to anybody. I never understood her background and where she came from and how she got a seat, but I feel like there's a lot more other drivers out there that deserve a seat.
Are more deserving. I'd have to agree. All right, so I'm kind of dragging this on, so I'm just going to hit lightning round. I got 5 drivers remaining where we could just do lightning round. You ready?
All right, just go.
Cody Saucier, Randy Brown, Mark List, Camden Murphy, Morgan Kane.
Okay, I didn't realize you were going to do that, but okay.
Yeah, I said lightning round. Name and I told you. Say yes or no, and then you say another name.
Let's
yes
do that.
No,
do that. Do what she said. Say the driver. We'll say yes or no.
You can't say all the names, and then because we all have different answers for all different names.
Say the first driver.
Oh my gosh. Cody Saucier.
Yes, he should be in a seat.
He should be in a seat, but maybe his own truck or his own identity with an independent team.
So you don't think he should go back to Monster Jam? He should be
honestly. No, I don't. I don't think so. That is a guy out there who did not get the respect that he deserved from that company. I'm just going to say it now. He was a great brand representative for Monster Energy and for Monster Jam, and for whatever reason, they just did not give him the limelight that guy deserves. So put him on an independent team. Let him play by his own rules and drive the trucks the way that they should be driven. So
Agreed.
Definitely Cody Saucier needs to be back in the seat. Probably not Monster Jam, just because. I don't know. He deserves more. Moving on. Who's next?
Randy Brown. Downtown Randy Brown.
I thought he was.
What?
I thought he was coming back.
See, I didn't know if he was just like past his prime, like because they were kind of putting him in I think it was AT4 where there's only 2 company trucks and then all independents, and they're just kind of like slowly pushing him out the door.
Randy Brown, not a great racer, but if he does that whole leap of death thing again, like back in Detroit, I say yes, put him back in the seat and put him in the seat as fast as you can get him there.
Didn't he also do a leap of death at World Finals?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, the Hot Wheels jump.
Yeah.
All right, moving forward.
All right, this is another arena driver, Mark List.
I can't say I've seen enough footage of him, like videos and stuff, to say I want him back. I know he won a lot of stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
he has. He's very passionate. He comes from a background where he grew up as a fan, and then he got his chance to drive, which is very inspiring. But from what I heard, he has a bit of an attitude problem. He's not afraid to show it. So I like drivers that have emotion and are not just a mannequin to just say whatever the hell some bigwig says at the company.
Mm-hmm.
And I respect that about Mark. And he shares excitement about the industry. So I would like to see Mark come back. I just think it's in poor taste having somebody who comes from somewhat of I don't know if he's Cuban or if he's Hispanic, but it's like, oh, we're going to put the ethnic drivers in El Toro Loco. Like, no.
Yeah.
Before I give you my answer, name some other male Toro drivers. Okay. You got Armando. You got obviously Mark McDonald.
Elvis. Was also
Elvis.
Are we naming
Lupe Souza?
Lupe Souza. Yeah, just like of all time, not like current or whatever, but yeah.
Becky was El Toro. Kayla Blood was El Toro.
Guy. We're talking about Guy Toro drivers.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. But a lot of them that, throughout history were actually your ethnic drivers. It's like, oh, you're an ethnic driver.
Exactly.
We're going to put you in El Toro Loco.
So
that is...
I would have honestly rather seen Mark in a different truck.
Oh, yeah,
Chuck Warner, definitely. That was a big one. How could I forget that? I would have rather seen him in a different truck because, like you said, I don't like that they do that. That it also makes me feel uncomfortable sometimes, having to play by those rules. So I would have rather seen him in a different truck. I know he had a lot of pressure on him, trying to fulfill that role there, being that you had guys like Chuck Warner and Mark McDonald, as his successor. I don't know. I think maybe he should have been in a different truck. So it's hard for me to give you an answer for him. So moving forward,
Camden Murphy.
I think definitely, yeah. I think he needs to be back. That guy really showed some skill and hadn't been driving the trucks all that long. I know he was hard on the equipment, and I absolutely hated the truck that he drove recently. I mean, that's no surprise to anybody. Stupid Bakugan. but I think he definitely needs to be back in the seat. He was a good driver.
I agree. He should be back.
He since he comes from a NASCAR background, he's very good at like upping the sponsors. So as much as we don't like Bakugan Dragonoid, Bakugan and Camden Murphy were a good fit. But so seeing that Camden gets the boot and Ryan Anderson stays, but Ryan Anderson now has to drive the stupid Bakugan truck. So I really want to see Camden come back. Oh, there goes Harley.
Yeah. There's that.
We knew this was going to happen. So I honestly think Camden should definitely come back. I hope he comes back. He deserves it. He's a hell of a driver. And honestly, he's a hell of a person to talk to too. He's honestly like one of the few drivers like outside of like, you know, Monster Jam, like hanging out at the hotels. He's really chill and really cool to talk to. And honestly, I miss hanging out with Camden when we be on the road. Now, that being said, so far a lot of these have been yes and just one no. And unfortunately, that one no has been, well, we've had two no's. One is he needs to go independent. The other one is she doesn't deserve it. The last one is a World Finals racing champion, and we have not seen him in competition since the world shut down, and that is Morgan Kane.
Yes, definitely yes. No explanation needed.
Definitely deserves a spot. I think back in Gravedigger.
Really? You'd put him back in Gravedigger right off the bat?
I think he represented Gravedigger like perfect, honestly.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay. I can definitely respect that. Now, I know we're over the hour mark, so we're obviously getting ready to wrap things up, but I kind of want to put this out there to any of the crew guys that are watching that probably have some stories, but are probably a little too afraid to say anything. So I kind of want to open the floor here to a lot of you guys. If you have a story that you would like us to talk about or whatever that may have happened in the past, could be a year ago, could be 5 years ago. If you have been in the monster truck industry and you have a story you guys want us to read about, please send it to us and we'll make sure we keep you anonymous, because we love hearing on the road stories from anybody and everybody that's been part of this industry. And honestly, they don't get shared enough.
And another thing we just going to go ahead and say is obviously, you know, crew guys, we said especially Monster, but all around the globe, nobody is more underrated and underdeserved of just the biggest, you know, award ever is the crew guys. So y'all have fun this weekend up there in MetLife. And one more thing that we did want to talk about before Nashville. One more thing that we did want to talk about before we close out is Monster Jam is apparently going overseas next year. Is it next year, Harley?
Yeah.
Next year, and they're going where?
Frankfurt.
Germany.
Okay.
Deutschland.
So they're going different. So my whole thing was they're not going to Australia. We've covered shows that are going on in Australia. Potential issue: Monster Jam could be beginning to lose their market in Australia to the independents in the land down under.
Maybe.
I mean, honestly, when it comes to other countries and monster trucks, Australia is the only one that like kind of comes close to their monster truck shows. So I think you're right. I think once Australia kind of catches up, they're no longer going to need Monster Jam. They're going to have all their own stuff. So
maybe we'll just move to Australia and learn how to work on trucks there and just build one there.
I don't want to drive on the wrong side of the road, Tweety. I don't even want to sit in the car on the wrong side. I'm too set in my ways. I'm too old school. Anyway, so before we close out, Harley, is there anything we need to talk about with Vixen?
Yes, shout out to Vixen Industries. She just put up a bunch of new merch today, including some cute little flasks. So use my code Harley15 for 15% off your order. And maybe you'll get a special little note from Becky herself. So make sure to go check it out. And then do we have anything else left, guys?
Spence?
Verner's is better than Dr. Pepper.
Shut up. Whatever. No.
Burners is gross. Sorry, all you Michigan people.
Lindsay Johnson, back me up on this.
Dad, don't tell Lindsay.
BJ, tell your wife to help me out on this one.
Anyways, tonight was awesome. This was good. I love being interactive with everybody who tunes into our shows. Thank you so much from the bottom of our hearts. We're working very hard behind the scenes. I know we've been saying this for a while now, but don't worry. We're not sleeping on the merchandise, not sleeping on the purple mohawk. I'm just waiting on it to get a little bit longer. But don't sleep on us. We got some cool stuff in the works. Remember, when in doubt, throttle out. Peace out, y'all. Good night.